Welcome to the Devroy Show. Like, share, comment and subscribe.
See, I'm going off. I have a list of questions, but as you speak, I'm going off exactly what you say. You just mentioned finances, right? And you said you're good at that. Now, in your opinion, how you think the finances should be split between couples? So,
if somebody wants to come pay all my bills,
why not, right?
that would be amazing. Okay, so I think that it depends on your situation, right?
Right.
So let's say if I'm making as much as I make now and I marry someone who's making 3 times what I make, right? I don't split things 50-50.
Right. Okay.
At the same time, I don't think there is a right or wrong. If you have a couple who they say they enjoy splitting things 50-50 and it works for the dynamic of their relationship, I'm not going to come in and be like, oh no, he should pay this or she should pay that. But for a minute in a relationship where we split things 50-50, but we were making the same exact amount of money.
Right.
But now it's like I have goals for myself finishing school to have a certain income where I can provide for me and my daughter. However, if I meet someone who makes the same as what my goal income is, then we can split it however it works. If I meet someone who makes twice my income, I would hope that he would at least pay the mortgage.
True.
And I could take care of the smaller household bills.
Makes sense.
Because I like grocery shopping. So I'm fine going to the grocery store, doing all that, organize all of the bills. If he wants to pay them, that's great. But
right.
I think if you make more than me, at least take care of the mortgage or the rent or something, the car note, and I can do the little stuff.
You know why? Because it's a question I always see people out there, they always get, I don't know, it's just weird how they answer it. But your answer I agree with, because it really depends on the situation, and everyone's situation is different. So what might work for someone else's relationship might not work for you, because everyone, it's different everywhere. So I definitely like that answer. That I agree with 100%. All right. So how do you define success?
I define success as happiness.
Happiness. Okay.
Whatever makes you happy. If you make, I know I always go back to finances, but
no,
it's
fine.
Such an easy way to measure things. But let's say you have someone who makes $50,000. They have a 2-bedroom apartment in a small town. The cost of living is low. They take their one vacation every year and they're happy. Then they're successful.
True.
But that wouldn't make me happy. So I wouldn't consider myself successful.
Right.
I like to take vacations 3 times a year to see family and take Zoe to see new places and try new foods and do new things. And that costs a lot more than $50,000. So
yes, it does. 3 times a year for sure.
Exactly. And my goal right now is to double my current salary. And so that for me, that would be I would be successful in doing that. I want to build a new house in 3 years.
Okay.
There's certain things that I want to be able to just do comfortably. And so that's success for me, because I know that those things, and I think for a lot of parents, it's success is seeing their children happy. It really does bring me joy and happiness to see my daughter happy. And I have things that, I want to do for myself as well. But happiness to me is the true measure of success.
Happiness. Okay. And have you reached that? You're there? All right.
No, I'm not going to say I'm unhappy, because certain things that I am happy about, but I know that I'm not where I want to be. I have goals for the year.
Okay. All right. So I'm you're leading, I'm following. You have goals for the year. So one of the biggest things you think you want to accomplish in the next 5 years. I know you just mentioned you're trying to build a house.
So
one,
because this is my goal for this year, double my salary. I'm trying to finish school and get a job that pays double what I'm making now by the summertime. And then, of course, build a house in 3 years. I already have an idea of what I want, which is for bedrooms, at least 3 bathrooms, open floor plan, a large backyard. Like I have, things there.
Right, right, right.
um, and get really good at pole dancing because it's very hard, and I really want to I want it to be a new skill, and that's why I really want to stick to going at least once a week for the entire year. And that's on my short list right
That's a
now.
short list.
Yeah.
And all right. So, what are some of you have any regrets? Like the
Ooh,
biggest
any
regrets? Yeah, in life.
Ooh. Okay, yes, two. When I
Two?
was in the military, I didn't have a savings account, right?
Oh,
And I legit spent 4 years just like I had a great time. I
mm-hmm.
went on vacation, I took road trips, all that stuff is great. But I also know that I legit just put away like $100 a month.
Right.
That
Okay, got you.
I
You
would have
didn't
come
do
out
none
on
of that.
top, or if at least if I would have put money towards my retirement plan or things, like it would have grown
Right.
significantly because I joined the military almost 14 years ago.
Right.
So that's
You were
one.
young.
My second thing is when I went to school, yeah, I got my bachelor's in humanities, and from that point, I should have gone straight into IT, which is what I'm doing now.
Oh.
And so, yeah, and it's kind of like I picked humanities because at the time I was trying to get to the nursing program.
Mm-hmm.
The application deadline had already passed. I needed to do something in the meantime. And then because I have that things, I was like, you
Yeah.
know what? I'm just going to finish this first. And it was like, but I should have just declared IT at the time. And I didn't know that I was going to end up going into IT anyway.
Yeah.
Those are really my only two regrets. Any other mistakes that I've made in life, I say, you know what? It contributed to who I am today, and I like who I am. So I don't regret it.
There you go. I like that. I like that. It makes you who you are. Let me go back to relationships, right? Now, what do you think you struggle with the most in a relationship? Do you think you struggle with anything at all?
Oh, no, yeah. What
What
I
is that?
struggle with the
Yeah.
most. Can I get I don't know, other categories? I don't know. Because there are things that I struggle with in relationships. I think one of them is being able to completely be myself, I think.
Really? You're not
Yeah.
you're not yourself. You don't think you're yourself when you're in a
No,
relationship?
it's like I think
It's
I'm
like
myself for the most part. It's just there's certain things that depending on who I'm with, I do hold
you
back
hold back.
certain things.
Okay. All right. I
Yeah.
understand.
Like I'm the most myself when I'm with my siblings.
Right. Family
Like
and close friends,
I'm
probably.
yeah. Exactly. Like I'm
Yeah.
very I'm silly all the time. Oh, my
24/7.
daughter just woke up.
Oh. Yeah. All right. Quick commercial break. Guys, check this out. Right. So you're listening to this on YouTube. I want you to basically, when you get a chance, head over on IG, and I want you to check out. There's two things I want you to do. Humble yourself. Check out. They got sweatsuits over there. You could get custom designs. They have good product. I have another one I want y'all to check out. Mind over matter clothing. So it's two. Let me make this bigger so y'all can see it. All right, here we go. Much better. All right, so link is in the bio. Check out. They do have sweatsuits as well. Check them out. They got good stuff over there. And let's see. Yep, the website. Just check the link in the bio. The website is also there. mindovermatterclothingllc.com. So yeah, check. That's two. So I want y'all to check both of those out. Mind Over Matter and Humble Yourself. Yep, Humble Yourself for those custom sweatsuits. So we were just speaking on the what you struggle the most in a relationship, right?
Oh yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I always feel the most comfortable around my family. And I would say even more so than like my close friends because I was homeschooled until I was 12. So I grew
Okay.
up like my sisters raised me until that point. And so I think because they'll always know me the best, it's weird. And there's a lot of ways that me and my sisters are similar, then it makes me the most comfortable being around them. But I also think when I was younger and like in high school and getting into relationships, then I dated people who had a lot of issues with how I was. So it was like, oh, you're too intimidating, or you speak a certain way. I was always teased about how I spoke. Or like I literally dated one guy who told me like, oh, the words that you use are too big. And so
Really?
there are certain things that it's like, yeah, when you hear it so many times, you get older, make you self-conscious about those things when it comes to relationships.
Right.
Um, and so I think that's something like I really had to work on, being comfortable, being exactly who I was, regardless of like, because ultimately, I think, and I think everyone goes through this, but I'll say especially young women, we want to be liked, you know? And at a certain point, we get to the point, or some of us get to the point where we want to please the other person. And
Right.
so we might sacrifice who we are to
Right.
confine to what we think a man wants.
Right.
And it wasn't until I think when I became a mom, it's when I really did and like was really proud of everything that I am. And so I know that going forward, it's not things that I'll sacrifice. Like I won't hold back who I am and I won't sacrifice things about myself to please another person. But it was things that I struggled with when I was younger and dating.
Right. Now, you just mentioned you're basically not going to sacrifice who you are. You're going to be yourself.
Hmm.
What are you proudest of about you?
Um, I think I'm most proud of I think I'm very strong willed. I
Mm-hmm.
have very strong beliefs, passionate about them. And I think it's more so just not being ashamed to voice what they are.
Oh, okay.
And that it comes to everything when it comes to children and how they're raised, when it comes to spirituality, when it comes to work ethic. Like I have strong beliefs about so many things and I could literally have a conversation about anything. But it's like
Mm-hmm.
going forward, I know to stand firm in those things because I've tried like, doing the compromise on certain things and it really didn't work out. And I realized that I more so just have to focus on finding someone with the things that I feel strongly about.
Right,
What are
because
you doing, Mama?
if you, yeah, you, I don't think like lowering yourself for someone else. I don't see how will you grow? You know,
Exactly.
like there's no
And it's like, and
growth.
ultimately, you may grow to resent the other person, and it
Right.
may not really be their fault. They didn't know that these were things that you were sacrificing for them. But,
Right.
and so now it's like I very much believe in the right person they will fit, you know?
True. True. Do you forgive easily when someone apologizes or for hurting or offending you? You're like, nah, hell no.
Um,
Definitely not.
it depends because okay, how like do you follow like zodiac signs and like the
Sometimes,
traits?
yeah.
Like okay, because we have the same birthday, so we're both
Yeah, you're
Scorpio,
Scorpio and I'm a
and
Scorpio.
there's certain things that
Yeah.
holding a grudge, like I could hold a grudge for a very long time. I could do the silent treatment forever.
Forever, yeah.
Um, but at the same time, I think with age, I think mostly with age and maturity, I've kind of come to forgive easier than but not. It's still something I'm working on. I'll say that.
It's still, you're working on
Yeah.
it. All right. Yeah, this is common. Three wishes. What would you wish for and why? What are you wishing
Oh,
for if you
okay. So
had
my
three
number one
wishes?
wish is always end the child abuse. I think that
Okay.
most of the issues we face in the world stems from the fact that a lot of children are abused. And of
Mm-hmm.
course, the ones who survive childhood, some of them grow up to be impactful people, and the trauma of their childhood probably impacts how they rule or how they impact the world. Um, and that's not to say, a lot of people say, oh, hurt people hurt people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't necessarily believe that. I think hurt people hurt people. I think people who weren't hurt people. I
People,
think hurt
right.
people heal people. And so there's this one scenario that's always stuck with me. It said two boys grew up with an alcoholic father. one of them became an alcoholic because his father was an alcoholic, and one of them never drank because his father was an alcoholic. However, I think that when it comes to child abuse, it's so traumatic that it really is the root of so many of the issues we have. Could eradicate it somehow. But if I had a magic wish to do it, that would literally be the first thing that I would do.
Okay.
My second wish would be, I'm not a capitalist. I'm more of a socialist. And I really think capitalism is also one of the roots of most of the evils we have. When it comes to modern day slavery, even the transatlantic slavery, child labor, abuse, human trafficking. So much of it is because these billion-dollar conglomerates will literally do anything for money. And humans are one of the most lucrative commodities, basically. And that's how so many people are treated as a commodity. But they'll literally do anything for money, and it's so disgusting. And so I would get rid of capitalism.
Okay.
And my third thing would be probably fair pay, I guess. I think that there's so many. Working 40 hours a week to barely make enough money to pay your bills is absolutely ridiculous, and I think it should be illegal. I would pay everyone twice the money and work half the hours.
Hey, I agree with that. I'm not going to disagree with any of those three wishes at all, for sure. 100% on board with that.
I thought about this. Like, my perfect society would have no capitalism, no child abuse, and more pay.
Now, speaking on money, what you prefer? You rich or famous?
Rich.
You prefer to be rich, not famous, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, that's the common sense answers. Yeah, rich. Who wants to be famous? You could be famous with no money, right?
Exactly.
Now,
and it's cool, like, there's people who are infamous who will literally get on the internet and do or say anything for popularity. And it's like, but what's that really doing for you? What does that do for you? No?
Nothing at all. It doesn't pay.
Exactly.
But you know, they say when they say attention is like the new currency.
Exactly. And I'm like, man, if it can't buy me a house, then I don't need it.
What causes you stress in life? Is there anything? Like, what makes you stress?
Thanks for watching, and please remember to hit the notification bell. Like, share, comment and subscribe.